So welcome to Series 6 in our quest to play over changes. Now, one of the most important things about all the series I've done and all the segments of those series, of which there are quite a few now, is that we are taking real-life chord sequences. We're not going to contrive to put together some chords just to sound weird or whatever and stuff you may never even have a chance of using. So this is very much down-to-earth stuff, really. And the sequence I'm going to look at here is A minor going to an F. Now, this is something which we come across with quite a lot of regularity, and it's interesting when you mention a chord sequence, people will think of different things. So Bob Dylan fans, talking of Bob Dylan, also wrote this, didn't he? Yeah, although it's fair to say Jimi Hendrix put a slightly different spin on it. Then we've got things like we've got there are lots and lots and lots of examples. So this could be Minnie the Moocher. It could just as easily be Cold as Ice by Foreigner. So it's all about just thinking about what the chords are, what the harmonies are, and what the possible approaches to those might be. So the first one I'm going to take is, I think, arguably the most obvious approach that you might take, and by that I mean it's also likely to be the most common that you would expect to find, and that is to say, well, we've got A minor going to an F, which in my parlance is a type 1 sequence. In other words, it requires us to play a natural minor scale. Now, we could sit there for hours learning natural minor scales and patting ourselves on the back, but the reality is we already know them if we know our major scales. So an A natural minor scale is the same thing as a C scale. Obviously the phrasing of it is going to be different, because we'd be describing C, another we'd be describing A minor. So just as a very quick idea, let's suppose I'm on my C scale. Okay, that sounds like C. Okay, now it sounds like A minor. So it's a little bit of work to be done to be thinking about your phrasing. And as ever, we're going to take all of these challenges in small stages, one bite at a time, if you will. So the first thing we're going to do, and the last thing we're going to do in this particular segment, is to say, well, okay, let's have a look at combining our A minor with the C scale. So we've got an A minor here, fairly comfortable starting point for most people. So if we're going to play a C major scale, we want one which is in that vicinity, and it seems this one at second position is in a pretty good place for that. Now, just because we're using a C major scale doesn't mean to say we can't use the pentatonic. It's there as an additional voicing to it, but getting the knack of combining those is really where the work comes in for you guys and girls. Now, combining them and getting them to link together is very important. Try to avoid playing lines which go and have this very kind of wooden joint between the two. What you need to do is kind of celebrate the fact that it's changing from one to another. Okay, so that would be an example, and it leads us rather neatly onto something else that we could do there, which would be to play our C scale in a different position, this time using a 2-octave fingering. Okay, and there's loads of ways you can link that up, but that's that's really for you to discover. So that's our first segment, really. Just thinking, okay, A minor to F, could have a G in between. Doesn't really matter to a huge degree at this particular point, but okay. A minor to F, natural minor, or type 1 as I would call it, A minor, pentatonic, and a C scale. Anyway, get your head around that first, and then we'll be moving on to what else we might be able to do with the F. Okay, bye for now.